Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you about the Ten Commandments and something weird that I just noticed. It's often said that if you don't follow the Ten Commandments, you're going to hell. And these are 10 rules that no matter what, you can never disobey them. But in reading the Old Testament, the context which the Ten Commandments occur in is very strange because hell is not really mentioned in the Old Testament for quite a while. And as I keep reading and going on, there is no mention of a hell-like place. There is Sheol, which is like the Greek underworld, like Hades, but it's only mentioned once. So there is no disobedient problem for not following the commandments, except for the fact that God will punish the people who refuse to follow them. Additionally, after the Ten Commandments, there are also 50 judgments, which are lesser or smaller infractions that involve things about like not letting witches live and other things like that. So this whole idea that hell is a place in which you go because you don't follow a certain set of rules is not Christian, first of all, but it's not even Jewish, as it seems, as hell really is not described in detail. And what is hell? What is punishment? And God's punishment seems to be in the Old Testament to take place in this life. And the way it describes hell, at least in the book of Revelations, as this place of fire and torture and pain, well, it says it only becomes that after many, many, many millennia, once the end times are upon us. So hell, as it's described now, is a place that is essentially separate from God. It's a place of darkness and gnashing of teeth. And this place is very unlike the idea that we contemporarily have of the vision of hell. Really, it's a place of darkness that is absence from God. And in a way, that is what a lot of people are living with. Their hell, their punishment, is not knowing God and not knowing God properly. And so in a weird way, this whole self-destructive movement of atheism or the barbaric religions and cultures of the rest of the world who don't know God, it's like by not knowing God, they are incurring their own punishment, their own suffering. And so this whole stringent view of the faith as a bunch of rules is such a misnomer and so inherently wrong. It's not even funny. And even think some Christians get tripped up on this, that the real punishment is being separated from the idea and the concept and the affections of God. And I think that actually describes many people's day-to-day lives. So coming to know God isn't just following a series of rules, and really some guidelines is what they are, but also having a philosophical interpretation and conversation with the Bible as a text and the implications of that text. And coming to know Jesus Christ as your Savior, you can't begin to psychologically enter a state in which your life becomes better until you understand this process. And in a lot of the way, Christianity has been a way to, how would I say, fool people into enlightenment, real enlightenment, not the enlightenment of the 16th century where we became more scientific and non-religious, but actual enlightenment where the light inhabits the inner parts of our being, where we feel this light and this energy within us. That is what it's really about. And trying to harness that energy and that joy out of life. And so I just wanted to address that I think the contemporary view of, again, a bunch of rules, which most of them are in the Old Testament and no longer really apply, or they've been reinterpreted, or in the New Testament, at least the Ten Commandments, is just such a misalignment. And also the distinction of hell as a place of punishment for not loving God. Well, no, the punishment for not loving God is that you don't love God. That is the punishment. The punishment of not being Christian that's the punishment, that God does not look at you or receive you if you don't love him. So this whole thing that God is like a bad patriarchal figure that's going to punish you if you don't give him love, like an abusive Stockholm syndrome abuser, is, well, one, it's more close to an Old Testament interpretation, but it's not even that close, because God says, I'll also reward you if you follow me in this life, not even the afterlife. And the New Testament, the real God as revealed in Jesus Christ, is a God who simply says that my love for you is a free gift, and the only punishment that I incur on you, or you incur on yourself, is rejecting it.